Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I request a few more minutes, Madam. Being an youth representative, I request few more minutes, Madam. I take this opportunity, ma'am, to raise the fate of sports in our country. Firstly, we need to understand what is plaguing sports in our country. Madam, I can deliberately say that nepotism and the group politics is been completely burning the sports industry in our country, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask the sports minister through you, ma'am, do we have the world-class infrastructure or do we have the world-class trainers? Then how can we expect medals, especially when in terms of Olympics, ma'am? Ma'am, can India ever dream of being a #1 in Olympics, ma'am? Forget about achieving it. Can India at least dream of it, dreamt of it? Ma'am, of course, I do understand we have improved a lot in the recent times. In the last Olympics, perhaps we have achieved 7 medals. But we need to do revolutionary measures in terms of improving sports in our country, ma'am. The government should take a proactive measures in aiming and achieving the world-class superpower in sports. Ma'am, in population-wise, we are second largest in the world. Ma'am, in the economy-wise, I think perhaps we are 5th or 6th biggest economy. And in area-wise, we are 7th largest. But when it comes to the sports industry, we are hovering around about 48th or 50th rank. Ma'am, we need to be very aggressive because if India really wants to be as a superpower in the world, definitely there should be a revolutionary measures to be taken. Ma'am, I wanted to quote that one of the honorable members in this August House, I heard that Madam Hema Malini ji has raised an interesting question in this House. Ma'am, she has asked the minister in the question hour, do government have any plan to set up and encourage a dedicated sport which is famous in their respective states? Say the football is famous in Bengal and hockey is famous in Punjab, likewise badminton in Andhra Pradesh. If a particular sport is centrally located in that particular state, if the government can encourage it, the sports lovers will frequently travel to that particular state, and also in a way the tourism sector will also complement, and there will be a lot of cultural exchange and in a way the lot of revenue in the form of different avenues like the branding, advertisement. This all will improve, ma'am. Ma'am, I'll give one more fair example of Michael Phelps, ma'am. The entire house, rather the whole world must be knowing about him. He is the most decorated Olympian in the history of Olympics, ma'am. He bagged 28 medals. 28 medals in Olympics, out of which 23 are gold. Ma'am, give me 2 more minutes. Can India dream of this? Can any Indian dream of this, ma'am?
1 minute.
It is not just happened just because only on practice. It needs a lot of sacrifice, dedication, commitment, and meticulous planning. Ma'am, apparently, I read in one book, ma'am, he used to spend half of his day in the water, ma'am. It is not that easy, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask through you to the minister, ma'am, how many temperature-operated swimming pools do we have in our country? How many world-class or Olympic standard swimming pools do we have, ma'am? Hardly on fingertips. If it is so, 1, 2, 3. How can swimmers practice in winter and in monsoon season, ma'am? How can we expect wonders to happen? It cannot be happened, ma'am. Ma'am, in the water sport division, there are more than 60 medals in the Olympics. Ma'am, give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. 1 minute, ma'am.
हो गया.
Ma'am, give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute.
6 मिनट.
1 minute, 1 minute.
हाँ.
Ma'am, in the water division, we are having round about 60, more than 60 medals in the Olympics, ma'am. If it is gold, silver, bronze, there is round about 180 medals. So how many can India achieve if we don't have a world-class infrastructure? Ma'am, I wanted to, if we ask for the government of India deliberately says that the sports is the state subject. Then is it not the pride of our country, ma'am?
श्रीमती के कोनी मोझी जी.
थैंक यू मैम.
मेंबर श्रीमती नवनीत राणा जी.
अध्यक्ष महोदय, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. पहले तो हमारे स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्टर का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन करना चाहेंगे कि खेल के इस दुनिया में जहाँ पे खिलाड़ियों को बहुत ज़्यादा सपोर्ट की ज़रूरत है, वहाँ पे हर जगह खुद मंत्री महोदय उपस्थित रह के उन्हें हर चीज़ पे सपोर्ट करते हैं. उसके लिए पहले तो मंत्री महोदय का धन्यवाद करूंगी. सर, एक रिक्वेस्ट है, इट इज जस्ट फ्यू सजेशन. अभी एक नेशनल स्कूल्स जो बच्चे जाके खेलते थे, उनका स्पोर्ट्स स्कूल्स के द्वारा खिलाड़ी जाके बच्चे जाके खेलते थे. अब वो नेशनल और इंटरनेशनल के झगड़े में इस साल वो नेशनल स्पोर्ट्स होगा नहीं. ये सॉल्व करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि इस साल अगर स्कूल के बच्चे जाके खेल नहीं पाएंगे तो उन बच्चों की क्या गलती है. ये आपसी झगड़ों में बच्चों का नुकसान ना हो इस साल. आइदर तो वो नेशनल वाले खिलाएं, नहीं तो गवर्नमेंट ने उसे टेक ओवर करके बच्चों को खिलाना जरूरी है. बस वो ध्यान में रख के बच्चों का इस साल गेम खराब नहीं होना चाहिए, उस पर हमें थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखना चाहिए. अभी मनोज तिवारी जी ने बहुत अच्छा कहा, आदिवासी क्षेत्र मेरे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में आता है और जिस तरीके से खेलो इंडिया के माध्यम से हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में इसका एक सेंटर दिया गया है कि हमारे जो ट्राइबल क्षेत्र है वो प्लेन पट्टों से करीबन 120 किलोमीटर 130 किलोमीटर दूर पड़ता है. तो ग्रामीण क्षेत्र के बच्चे अगर शहरी भाग में आएंगे और खेलो इंडिया के सेंटर में अगर आना है, उन्हें काम करना है, तो उन्हें रहने की व्यवस्था नहीं मिलती है या तो उन्हें खाने की व्यवस्था नहीं मिलती है. अगर ये सेंटर के साथ में ग्रामीण क्षेत्र के जो खेल खेलते हैं बच्चे, उनको अगर रहने की व्यवस्था और खाने की व्यवस्था होगी तो मुझे लगता है उन्हें बहुत ज्यादा बेनिफिट और खेल में बहुत अच्छा प्रदर्शन वो कर सकते हैं. और जितने मेडल्स ये देश को आवश्यक है, मुझे लगता है ग्रामीण क्षेत्र के बच्चे और लड़के अच्छा खेल के उन्हें लाके दे सकते हैं. सर, खेलो इंडिया के माध्यम से जितने भी बच्चे हमारे खेलो इंडिया में मेडल जीत के आते हैं, अभी बाकी खेलों के द्वारा तो उन्हें आरक्षण देके उन्हें जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलती हैं. वो बच्चे कितने कितने साल ट्रेनिंग करते हैं, उन्हें जॉब्स मिलती हैं, तो उन्हें फुलफिल लगता है कि हमने खेला, हमने देश के लिए खेला, मेडल्स लाए करके हमारी लाइफ सरकार के द्वारा और हमारी मेहनत के द्वारा बनी है. पर खेलो इंडिया में जो प्रावधान है अभी तक वो ऐसा नहीं है. या तो आरक्षण में लाया जाए जिनको मेडल मिले हैं, और या तो फिर उन्हें डायरेक्ट जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटी अगर मिली जाए, तो मुझे लगता है खेलो इंडिया के माध्यम से हमारे देश के खिलाड़ियों को बहुत बड़ा सपोर्ट होगा. अदरवाइज सर, छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं, ग्रामीण क्षेत्र से हम बिलोंग करते हैं, उन्हें छोटी छोटी चीजों की आवश्यकता रहती है. अगर वो डिमांड के अनुसार पूर्तता करने का भी प्रयत्न हमने किया तो आने वाले समय में ये देश में जितने खिलाड़ी हमें अपेक्षित हैं उससे कई ज्यादा खिलाड़ी हमारे देश को मिलेंगे. इतना ही आपसे विनंती करूंगी, और आपके सपोर्ट के लिए, खिलाड़ियों के लिए आप जो सपोर्ट करें उसके लिए सरकार का, हमारे मंत्री महोदय का दिल से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करूंगी. थैंक यू सो मच सर.
थैंक यू. ऑनरेबल मेंबर श्री डीन कुरियाकोस.
Giving me the opportunity to speak in an important discussion about the sports development in India. Honorable Chairperson, the year 2022 and over the past few years also, India has seen a splendid performance from our athletes at many events at the global level. And recently also in the Commonwealth 2022, we have seen a total medal worth of 61, 22 gold, 16 silver and 23 bronze, which is one of the best performances India has ever seen in this tournament, madam. And also I'd like to congratulate all our sports persons who have displayed exemplary athleticism at this world-class level, madam. And when we see at these glory moments, when we see at these athletes, it's not just that one moment or that one athlete performing at that one event. We have to remind ourselves that such events are a culmination of decades of investment in infrastructure and also sporting talent, madam. And in our country, it is quite natural when the urgent priorities are are like the welfare, health, education, social security, development of logistical infrastructure like roads and public transport. The sports infrastructure or the sports spending always doesn't meet the demand that it needs to be met, madam. So the government has to look at alternative funding models or creative or innovative spending into the sporting system, madam. And one suggestion that I would like to make in this is a national CSR portal figures that is run by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Approximately 24,864 crores has been spent on CSR in 2020-2021. Out of this, if you look at the sports spending, madam, it is just 240 crores. So this can be improved if within the CSR portal, if the government, state government and the central government can list out the priority spending areas in sports so that the CSR activity in this area can also be improved, madam. And also, other members who have spoken before me have also mentioned that it's not just about constructing these large stadiums worth hundreds and thousands of crores. We have to look at spending at the grassroots level, which is at the schools and also the colleges, madam. There are excellent grounds, but in reality right now, if you look at these grounds at the village level, they are used for grazing cattle, madam, which has to be the grounds. These are the first grounds that any kid is introduced to. And these should be the nurturing places for all these sporting talent. But that minimum infrastructure has to be provided, madam. So instead of just looking at spending this high amount of budget on these big stadiums, we have to look at that rural expenditure also and in improving. I'll appreciate the Khelo India scheme, which is a very good scheme, madam, which is penetrating very well at the district level. But why not we take it a step forward and why not we go to the schools also? Identify those schools with good grounds and why don't we improve the infrastructure there? That is one of the suggestions, madam. And also alternative career paths. Many of the sporting talents, madam, when they come to the college level, they see that this career or playing as an athlete, being a sports person might not be a career for us, so they kind of divert themselves into other academics, or they kind of stop playing sports completely, madam. So, which is why there are alternative, some might be passionate about being in the sports area, but they might not play. Or some are injured players who still want to be associated with the sport. So the government should also encourage other sporting career paths, madam, such as data analytics in sports, nutritionists, fitness experts, or sports by something which can improve. Madam, 1 minute and I'll conclude. And also one more important thing which others have also mentioned, why don't we promote our traditional sports also? With the westernization of culture, we have imported a lot of sports from the other countries and we are kind of concentrating on them itself. But there are a lot of sports like Kusti, Kabaddi, Mallakham, which is also referred in Ramayana also, madam. Kho, Gilli Danda, Lingocha and Vallam Kali. So many sports. These are just a small example of the numerous amount of sports which are played at rural level or the village level. So the government has to concentrate on improving these sports, in publicizing these sports. Last point, and I'm concluding, madam. I would also like to request the central government to establish, and madam, one point that I wanted to mention, this Pitta Bhagya Chandra Yadav from my constituency, he went to Nepal in Karrasamu, madam, which is Silambam. This is a very local sport which is played in festive seasons, but it has got him international recognition and we all feel proud for it. So there is a lot of scope in traditional sports also. And other than that, the National University in Manipal, Sports University. Madam, 1 minute, last minute, man, please, last minute. आखिरी मिनट मैडम, एक मिनट में मैं बंद कर देता हूँ.
इस पर तो प्रकाश डालना चाहिए. दुनिया खेल रहा है क्या?
आखिरी मिनट, last minute, I'm closing, last minute. So this National Sports University, there can be a university specifically for water sports. And I would like to invite the central government to invest in Andhra Pradesh for this, madam. We have 1,000 kilometers of coastline. So it's a good destination for improving water sports. And also, madam, I come from a district where we have produced Karnam Mallishwari, madam. She is the first Indian woman who has won an Olympic medal at Sydney 2000 Olympics, madam. So I would like to request the central government to invest more in Khelo India in our district of Srikakulam also.
Jalil ji.